Hey everyone, I wanted to put out a video as soon as possible so that I could maintain my momentum after my last project, so here's a short little video that I made about two movies I saw recently that could not be more different from each other if they tried. First up is Weird, the Al Yankovic story, a Roku original movie about, you guessed it, Weird Al Yankovic. This movie is hilarious. It of course makes perfect sense that a movie about the king of musical parody would be a parody of the genre it itself is adapting. Musical biopics can be fun, but a Walk the Line or Elvis-style movie based on Weird Al just wouldn't have worked. This is truly the only way this movie could have been done. It is 100% all made up. It is complete bullshit, and it works extremely well. It plays perfectly into Weird Al's overall appeal and only adds to his genius. Daniel Radcliffe does great as Yankovic. His performance is filled with wit and self-awareness, and it's just a complete and utter joy to watch. He also achieves something I never thought possible. He makes Weird Al sexy. I mean, look at this man. This will, without a doubt, go down in history as Daniel Radcliffe's most famous role. Nothing he has done or will ever do in his acting career will ever eclipse his role as the Weird Al Yankovic. I cannot overstate this enough. Weird Al Yankovic is Daniel Radcliffe's most famous role. Something I really enjoyed about this movie was how its very nature acts as kind of a shield to any criticism people may throw at it. While I was watching, several issues popped into my head that were immediately dissuaded by this shield. At first I figured, well, this isn't taking itself very seriously, but then like 5 seconds later I was like, well no shit it isn't. Then I started noticing that the lip syncing wasn't very well done, and Weird Al's actual voice wasn't really matching up with the way Radcliffe's lips were moving. But then I honestly just started laughing at it, because it added to the overall humor of Radcliffe's performance. Same thing goes for that terrible fucking dollar store wig that Daniel wears. I also really couldn't help but pay attention to how small the budget was for this movie. $8 million is a relatively small budget for a music biopic, but the low production quality honestly kind of strangely adds to the charm of the movie itself. I imagine a huge chunk of this movie's money most likely went to paying Daniel. The music is, of course, really well done, both the score itself and the mixing/editing for the songs that play throughout the film. Lastly, the celebrity cameos sprinkled in almost every scene are hilarious. Conan O'Brien, Jack Black, David Dastmalchian, even Weird Al himself. Sadly, I had to deduct from the overall score because this fucking guy shows up at one point. Overall, this movie just has a lot of charm, and it's an extremely fun watch. I highly recommend anybody that has a Roku check it out, because it deserves all the praise that it's getting. Next up is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the 8 millionth chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I gotta be honest, I'm kinda getting tired of the MCU. I miss when there would be like 2 or 3 of these movies per year. Now we're getting like one thing per month, and it's starting to feel like a quantity over quality situation. I'm finding it harder and harder to keep up. I never finished Moon Knight, I didn't even start Ms. Marvel, I've yet to get around to Werewolf by Night, and I have absolutely zero enthusiasm about the next Ant-Man movie. However, all of this being said, Wakanda Forever is like the first MCU film since No Way Home to feel like more than just another entry into this saga. It is borderline excellence. Right off the bat, I gotta offer a commendation to Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole for their great work in adapting quickly to the awfully tragic death of their main star. Chadwick's death couldn't have been an easy thing to work around, but this script not only makes the change feel natural, but it honors the late great actor in a very heartfelt way. What we get out of this from the very first scene is a story about love, loss, and processing grief. There's a lot more going on under the surface of this plot than most Marvel movies. It's got a great deal of subtext and social commentary, all of which works very well and sticks with you after you leave. Ludwig Göransson returns to once again prove that he is one of the best composers working in Hollywood right now. The movie's score keeps the motifs and themes of the original, but adds on to it in new tech-infused ways to reflect the changes that the Black Panther franchise is undergoing. The cinematography is also a considerable step up from what we can usually expect from the MCU. There are plenty of shots that radiate with purpose and clear storytelling intent. Honestly, there's just so much of this movie that oozes with personality and charm. Namor serves as a fantastic antagonist. His motivations are not only believable, but they're tangible. The audience can resonate with his decisions, and Tenoch Huerta's charisma as the character shines in every scene he's in. I can't get over how fucking great Namor is. You know, Phase 4 has had some really lackluster villains, but Namor is just an absolute force. He's strong, he's fast, he kicks absolute ass. His physicality combined with his character motivations help him climb the ranks to become one of the MCU's best antagonists. And the best part? They didn't kill him off! God, I'm so tired of the MCU absolutely wasting good actors on lame one-off villains, and I cannot wait to see what this character has in store for the future. Speaking of characters with a lot of potential, Riri Williams makes her on-screen debut in this movie, and she's great. I've always kind of gravitated towards Ironheart as a character just because I find it hilarious how much she pisses people off. But her solo run from 2019 was honestly really good, and I can't wait to see what they do with her in the future of this franchise. The movie is, of course, not without its problems. There's some really plasticky CGI and some really transparent green screen here and there, but at this point that's to be expected from Disney and the way they overwork their VFX artists. There's also some really bad shaky cam in the earlier parts of the movie that took me out of some of the action scenes. Some of the suits are really weirdly crafted too. I'm not really a fan of the way the new Black Panther suit looks. I think it's kind of over-designed and has too much going on, but it's really just one guy's opinion. Not like I could do any better. Lastly, if there's one thing this movie could have used more of, it's Winston Duke. This is a small complaint, I just feel like his character has a lot of charisma and energy that he brings to the table, but he doesn't really do as much in this movie as I would have liked. If you needed to make an argument for not having enough screen time to give M'Baku something to do, I can easily think of two characters that really didn't do much of anything in this movie, yet seem to have a lot of screen time. All in all, Wakanda Forever is a fantastic sequel, and it easily makes my top 10 list of MCU movies. I never know how to end these things. I'm like famously bad at writing conclusions. So, bye.